Welcome to Your Relationship Roadmap. My name's Keith Flynn, and I thought it was about time I had another chat with Mr. Michael Worthington. G'day, Michael.
How are you, Keith?
Good.
Well, trying to get you in the studio is difficult because you're just so busy these days.
Yeah, it's been pretty busy.
It's been pretty busy. And I thought it might be interesting. When you said, do you want to have a chat? And I thought, you know what? I bet there are commonalities that you come across all the time. And I know a lot of people come to you when they're at crisis point, but there are points that lead up to that, especially as parents and things like that, where people go, there's some warning signs. So I thought it might be interesting to talk to you about some of these common things that you see all the time, the indicators we might call them.
Well, I wouldn't so much say that they're indicators,
right,
but the top 5 issues that I have to deal with clients would have to be anger,
yes,
abuse,
yeah,
affairs,
right,
addictions, and arguments. Those would be the big 5 that I'm dealing with, at least one or more of those in every session.
I can imagine, listening to you then, you're saying, I can imagine anger being quite a common one across the board. And I suppose people say, well, that's a natural thing to get angry with your partner. But you have insights into what causes it, and it perhaps not quite as straightforward as saying, oh, well, that's just normal behaviour.
Yeah, well, look, I guess when I get onto the topic of anger,
yep,
one of the things that I ask my clients is, I'll ask you, what is the feeling that underlies anger?
Well, I suppose from where I've been, I suppose when I see people getting angry, and I can only talk from a business perspective because I'm not a relationship specialist like yourself, but I find when people get angry at work, it's because they're feeling disrespected or not significant. So I suppose it's that they feel like they're not being heard. Like, I'm just ignoring them. You go by the water cooler and I'll sort the problem out.
Yeah, well, that's true. And in work situations, and again, with relationships, generally people are not being heard, actually get frustrated.
Right.
But real anger, if it's happening, comes when people are actually being hurt. Most of the time, an angry person is a hurt person.
Right.
And the more angry a person is, the more hurt a person you're dealing with.
Is that why anger is like a defense mechanism there? Is that why they start getting almost spiteful in retaliation?
Pretty much so. Because angry people sort of lash out to protect themselves from actually feeling the hurt and the pain. I'm thinking of one particular client. He came to me and he'd been to see another therapist, and they said the anger was due to fear. And they got him to do a thing called EFT, which is tapping. To deal with these anger, like this sort of thing. He did that for a few days and really didn't get any good results. So when they came in for the session and the anger issue came up, I just simply said to him, I'm curious as to why you're so hurt that you need to be angry. And he originally sort of said, I can't think of anything. Yeah. And then about 2, 3, 4 minutes later, he was actually in tears because I'd spoken to that part of him that was actually hurt.
It's interesting you're saying things like that, and what I'm hearing is that you have to understand what's the root cause of these outward manifestations. Like as you said, if you're trying to treat anger because you think it's fear, your result is probably not going to help you because it's not really fear, it's hurt. The other person is not putting fear in you, they're hurting you, disrespecting you.
Well, I'll come on to another thing, is that no one can actually hurt you.
Okay. Another interesting session with Keith. No one can actually hurt you. Okay.
No. Because if you think about it, you feel all your feelings inside yourself.
Yes.
So it's how you interpret what is coming at you, how you internalize what's coming at you.
Okay. So are you saying that when somebody says something in a relationship and I feel the hurt and I get angry because of it, I'm either misinterpreting, because that must get quite complex, because they'll say, well, hold on, I love this person, they're saying this thing, and I find that hurtful, they're saying that to me.
Correct. The distinction I would just like to make here is that when people make the statement, "You hurt me," you're making the other person responsible for your feelings.
Okay.
A lot of people say, "You hurt me," or "You make me angry."
Yeah.
The reality is, you're better framing that up and saying, "I'm feeling hurt." Or, "When you said, 'I don't love you,' I'm feeling hurt."
Okay.
So one of the things we're going to do is own our own feelings and take responsibility for them and express them.
It's interesting you turn that, and that's why I do like talking to you and these things. And I think your online course helps people a lot with this, with some of these really simple and succinct strategies you've got. But just reframing gives the person who's feeling hurt or angry back the power to actually control their own emotions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When people are, you do this online course, and I just want to touch on that for a second. Can people learn these strategies pretty quickly on that? Like, say, I just want to do it myself. I feel like I'm getting angry. I want to own it. Okay, I'll do your course. Will it help me as an individual?
Well, the course is designed to give you the structure of relationships.
Right, okay.
So, if you like, there's another way that we can look at life.
Yeah.
So what I do is I take relationships and think of them as like a three-dimensional model. We look at it from multiple angles, and the course is over 40 different strategies that people can use to improve the relationship. Like when we talk about anger, you have people out there doing anger management.
Yes, I've never quite understood that. Let's get in a room with a bunch of angry people.
Yeah, I mean, think of that for a moment. Think of that for a moment. Why would you ever want to manage anger?
Yeah.
It's like if anger was an employee and you wanted to manage them, it's like you tell them to sit over in a corner and be calm.
Yeah.
You're always having to put your energy on it. So focus on something else.
Yeah. Anger management.
Exactly. Yeah. I know the anger management course deal with strategies in there, but I mean just the title of it.
Yeah, it is a bit funny, isn't it? Yeah, you're not going to manage. Well, as you said, it's a good analogy. I like your analogy there that you said it's like an employee. You just put them to one side. Well, you'd probably get rid of them. You wouldn't want to deal with someone who was being disruptive or destroying your business.
Well, the problem with that is if you're talking about anger management itself, that's not an employee you can get rid of.
No.
The best you can do is suppress it.
Right.
Or find other strategies, but you're not actually dealing with the core issue, which is actually, if you like, expressing your hurt and pain to another person so they become aware of it.
So when you've got that, and that was interesting, you just said that then about expressing your hurt and your pain in another way. These start to touch into the strategy you teach people in how to, okay, you don't have to get angry to express your hurt. There are other methodologies of doing this.
Correct. So when we take a look at the online course, it's giving you, I say, over 40 strategies, but it's giving you the structure to look at how to set up your relationship properly. That's why I call it your relationship roadmap.
Yes.
So you know where you are. So first of all, position yourself where you are so you know exactly where you are, and then you can refocus on doing what you need to do to have the relationship that you actually want.
What I do like about your course, and I think it's probably a little bit different than other people's courses, it's not just strategy, it's education. So I actually understand the cause, which if I can understand it, it gives me a better opportunity to actually be successful in what I'm trying to achieve. When I'm working with people, I don't normally continually go after cause. Right.
Do you follow any football teams?
I do. I don't want to mention my losing team from last season, who ended up on the bottom of the ladder.
Well, it's new season coming up.
And it was their fault. Yes.
So the coach of your losing team, at the beginning of the new season, will simply say to all his players, if we win enough games, we will get to the final.
Right.
Now, as he's going through the season, he's looking at, you play the first game, win or lose, you focus on the next game.
Yeah.
You might spend a little bit of time looking back, okay, what do we do wrong? What are the resources we have?
Yeah.
But what do we need to do to win the next game?
Okay.
So I'm more forward focused. That's why I call myself a counsellor, coach and consultant. I don't need to dig into why people why people are hurt so much, but start to get clear on what we need to do to win relationships. Because it really doesn't matter about the past so much. Yes, it's sometimes good to understand some of the major things that's happened, but in reality, it's what we choose to do now, the decisions we make now that determine what happens in the future.
Is that why when people come to you, they get these rapid results? They do get quite rapid results. I mean, I know other therapists and counsellors, and you spend years with them, but people seem to come to you and they're on a path pretty quickly in knowing what to do and how to do it.
Well, the reason for that is when I do my one-on-one session, or with the couple sessions, I spend a good 5 to 6 hours with them.
Wow.
And what that does is compress this, like normal therapists will do like 1 or 2 hours, so that will be spread out over weeks.
Yeah.
So we compress all that down into one session.
Wow.
So that can be quite intensive at times.
Yeah.
So the online course is modelled on that, so it's really designed to be done in a shorter period of time so people get the most out of it.
Wow.
So for example, when we're dealing with anger, and often in sessions clients will you'll see them get angry with each other.
Yes.
I'm able to sort of stop them, point out the patterns, and then point them back to other strategies that I've already mentioned. Because you see, anger is just a symptom of something that's going wrong.
Yes.
So if you go back to the original set of videos that we did, which really cover the first module of the course, one of the things that I'll always say is the number one skill in a relationship is learning to listen with your heart. Number 2 skill is learning to express from your heart. So if someone's angry, they're often not really expressing the hurt and the pain that they're in.
Right.
They've gone into protecting themselves and lashing out.
Yes.
So one of the things another analogy I use when I'm dealing with anger is people using knives.
Okay.
Because I read somewhere that the same area of the brain that processes physical pain processes emotional pain. And often, if you cut yourself, the cut will heal and you'll forget about it.
Yes.
But if someone cuts you deeply with the words that they say, or they know the real button to push, that's going to hurt for a long time.
Okay.
So for example, in a relationship, if someone has an affair, then that can be very, very painful. And when they think about the affair, that's going to bring up the pain in the body.
Right.
And then they can get angry. And when they get into an argument, they start to throw that back at the other person.
This is one of the things, and I'm conscious of your time here, but one of the things I think makes you different than a lot of therapists. A lot of therapists say we can fix everything. But you don't have that attitude, do you?
No. No, I'm not about fixing people simply because people aren't broken.
Yeah.
Relationships aren't broken.
Yeah.
You see, if you break a leg and go to a doctor, the doctor doesn't heal your leg.
He just plasters it up so
He'll reset the bone, he'll put a plaster on, he'll create an environment where the body can heal itself.
Okay.
So if you think about it, people get into relationships typically because they fall in love. They start out as friends. And then there's some weakness in their foundation. And when people get angry, there's some little hurts that are being collected over time.
Yep.
Or those hurts may even be there before the relationship started that haven't been dealt with.
Right.
And the person that they're with just triggers them. So what I do is start to create an environment where people can effectively heal themselves. So part of that environment is creating a safe space where people can be heard and understood and can learn to fully express themselves.
And then their relationship can...
Then their relationship has a chance. Because again, one of the things I'll say is that if there's love, a willingness to work and a willingness to change, then miracles can happen. But if someone's not willing to work or willing to change, I actually can't do anything about that.
Well, there you go. Mr. Keith Flynn, absolutely fascinating talking to you. I'm looking forward to talking to you about the other of these 5-star commonalities that cause relationship problems. And I think the next one we're going to do in the next video.
I think we'll do abuse.
Abuse. That is going to be challenging, interesting. Make sure you tune in.